Hello, everybody. I'm Jesse Waters, along with Judge Janine Pirro, Jessica Tarlov, Dana Perino, and Greg Gutfeld. It's 5 o'clock in New York City, and this is The Five. Fox News alert: at any moment, L.A. District Attorney George Gascon set to announce that he's asking the court to re-sentence Eric and Lyle Menendez, who are currently serving life sentences without parole for killing their parents in 1989. We'll bring that to you live once it happens. But in the meantime, what the heck is she talking about?
There was a lot that was done, but there's more to do, Anderson. And I'm pointing out things that need to be done, that haven't been done, but need to be done.
With the polls razor tight, Kamala Harris face-planting in one of her last chances to win over voters. Harris malfunctioning when trying to answer basic questions at a CNN town hall. The scripted soundbite machine failing miserably to articulate clear policies on pressing pocketbook issues.
One of my aspects of doing what we need to do to bring down the cost of living for working people and the middle class in America is to address the issue of grocery prices. We need to take a look at the filibuster, to be honest with you.
But if you're earning $500,000, $600,000, $700,000 under your plan, there's a good chance your taxes go up.
We can't have this conversation without knowing it's a very complicated situation, right?
Do you believe you would be more pro-Israel than Donald Trump?
I believe that Donald Trump is dangerous.
What weaknesses do you bring to the table?
That's a great question, Joe. Well, I am certainly not perfect, so let's start there. And I think that perhaps a weakness, some would say, but I actually think it's a strength, is I really do value having a team of very smart people around me.
Within minutes of that catastrophe, CNN had to admit she blew it.
The things that would concern me is when she doesn't want to answer a question, her habit is to kind of go to word salad city.
She focused a lot more on Donald Trump, I think it's fair to say, than she did on many specific.
If her goal was to close the deal, they're not sure she did that.
Dana, typical interview, they tell you that when someone asks you what your greatest weakness is, you turn it into a strength. Was that the moment to do that?
Well, of course. And I was thinking today about, she's really never had to have a tough campaign, right? So when you run statewide as a Democrat in California, I guess the primary is difficult, but you don't really have to differentiate yourself from an opposing viewpoint. And that's the same for the Senate races. And then she was in the Senate. She did, I think she skipped 60% of the votes when she was in the Senate, so she wasn't even there for that debate. And then she gets to this, it gets handed to her, well, because she's on the ticket with Biden. You could maybe say arguably that she helped, but that was Biden, and she's just on the ticket like Tim Walz is on her ticket. I think last night they finally put her out there on a high wire without a net, and she fell over and over again on her face. And that's, don't take it from me, that's David Axelrod from CNN. He said it much more politely, but even for me, I've looked for ways to compliment her. But I sit there and I think, how in the world, when you are at the White House, you can call anybody. Anybody will pick up your phone call. If the vice president would like a briefing on this or that, the vice president will want something else. They are at your beck and call. You could get up to speed. So they spend the entire day the other day getting ready for interviews and a town hall that basically she just steps on a rake the entire time. I think it was the most damaging campaign event that she's had to date. This morning, Jim Messina, also an Obama guy, he was on America's Newsroom. He also said, not great, but he said she has room to grow. And I said, okay, but does she have time to grow? And he said, that's a great question. And I think we all know the answer to that.
13 days, Greg. Does she have time to grow?
I think she doesn't have to grow. I like her the way she is. I thought she was amazing. You know, when CNN is slamming you, that's like parents at a Little League game heckling their own kid. They realized they couldn't find a silver lining on this big sack of poo. It's physically impossible to spin wet garbage because it ends up all over you. I think we need to retire the phrase word salad because at least salad can be nutritious. You know, you can have actually authentic ingredients. In this case, her manner of speaking, it's an affront to lettuce and kale growers everywhere. You know, after every disaster, you know, relief pours in. It's kind of like that with Kamala. It's like there's this, like, Hurricane Kamala comes in, there's a rush to raise money for the victim. There's benefit concerts. They're asking for small donations because every time she lands, there's devastation, mainly to herself, but also to her party. I think what you're seeing, though, the realization here is the downfall of the inauthentic. You know, whatever you say about Trump, good or bad, you know it's real. He's authentic, so authentic he doesn't need to employ a fake accent wherever he goes or create fake personal stories or professional histories with Harris. Whatever you say about her, good or bad, you know it's inauthentic, right? Nothing rings true. Nothing. Her upbringing, her professional experience, her very words that come out of her mouth like toxic glitter stick all over you. Every time she's talking, your brain cells want to commit suicide. So I think what you're seeing is an American public coming to the realization that they may not like Trump, but they don't know what the hell this is.
What was that last night, Judge Janine?
Well, that's what $1 billion gets you with a candidate that is so horrible she can't even articulate what she's going to do to make your life better. And, you know, the amazing part of this is she is so out of her league. She's like a high school JV playing in the pros. She could not articulate other than to say she's not Joe Biden. She can't say what she's going to do better. She doesn't have any answers to solutions. And she has had the audacity to sit in a position of power in the White House, the highest rank that a woman has ever attained in the United States of America. And she hasn't made any difference for the American people who are suffering from inflation, the economy, crime, immigration. And she just sits there like a queen on the pedestal and says, when I get in, if you vote for me, then I'll deal with the issues. That's not how it works in America. She couldn't even connect with the people who were asking her questions.
Click here to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page to catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You won't get it anywhere else.